So these are the new Jabra Elite 85Ts. They're completely different from the 75Ts and the 65Ts. And in general, Jabra has done a really good job of refining their earbuds year over year. Now, the most notable new feature on these earbuds is that they now have active noise cancellation, but personally, I really like their brand new fit and improved ambient mode. Now, when it comes to pricing, the 85Ts retail for $230. And for comparison's sake, the Jabra Elite 75Ts used to retail for $180 when they first came out, but you can pick them up for around $140 these days when they're on sale. And again, for comparison's sake, you can pick up the 65Ts for around $80. Nonetheless, if you want to pick any of these earbuds up, it'll be linked down below. Now, as with any pair of truly wireless earbuds, first let's address the case. The 85Ts have a very similar case to the 75Ts. This case has a matte finish to it, the lid is easy to open and close, and this case has strong magnets in it, which makes taking your earbuds out and putting them back in super easy. Now, I know this might all sound super basic, but this is very important to point out because the 65Ts don't have the best case out there. Now, personally, I really like the 85T's case, and it's not super noticeable when you've got it in your pocket. However, the 85T's case is a little larger than the 75T's case. Now, it's not a huge difference, and the 85T's case size is definitely acceptable for today's standards, unlike the Bose QC earbuds case, which is just way too big. But if you are somebody that has been daily driving the 75Ts for a while now, you will notice a difference. But in general, the 85Ts have a good case. Now, one of the reasons why the 85T's case might be a little larger is because it does have wireless charging. Now, granted, there are plenty of other earbuds out there that have wireless charging, all while still maintaining a smaller case. Like, let's say, either the AirPods or AirPods Pro, or the Galaxy Buds Plus, or the Galaxy Buds Live. But nonetheless, it is nice that the 85Ts do have wireless charging. Now, personally for me, it's not a must-have feature, but it is there. Now, when it comes to battery life, these earbuds have an advertised combined battery life of 31 hours with their active noise cancellation turned off. And since I am someone who only uses the ANC on any of their earbuds when they have to, the battery life on these earbuds is above average, and with their active noise cancellation turned off, the earbuds themselves can go for as long as 7 hours. However, with their active noise cancellation turned on, these earbuds have an advertised combined battery life of 25 hours, which is still very impressive. And for comparison's sake, the 75Ts have a combined battery life of 28 hours with their active noise cancellation turned off, and the 65Ts have a combined battery life of 15 hours. But now let's talk about the earbuds themselves and their fit. Now, I absolutely love how the 85Ts fit. Now, these are in-ear earbuds, but they don't fit like your standard pair of in-ear earbuds like the 75Ts or the 65Ts. Now, yeah, the 85Ts do go into your ear canals, but not all that much. The 85Ts only go into your ear canals a little bit, similar to how the AirPods Pro do. But unlike the AirPods Pro, the ear tips on the 85Ts are a little stiffer. So for me, these earbuds have been doing a noticeably better job of staying in place when I put them in, unlike the AirPods Pro, which do constantly like to wiggle out. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of in-ear earbuds for long use sessions, and that's why I still prefer options like either your standard AirPods or the Galaxy Buds Live. But the 85Ts are very comfortable to wear for long use sessions. Now, I don't think that these would be the best option for working out, but for casual use, these earbuds fit great. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is that these earbuds are still using a Hero and Sidekick setup. So one earbud, the Hero earbud, in this case the right earbud, actually establishes a connection with your phone and then relays that connection over to the left earbud. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you gotta use the correct earbud, or in this case, the right earbud. However, with the 85Ts, they can actually be connected to two devices at the same time. So you can easily hot swap from one device to another, which could be a very big deal for some power users out there. Now, yeah, it is unfortunate that these earbuds are still using a Hero and Sidekick setup, because these days we want earbuds to be independent of one another. But at least you are getting simultaneous multi-device connectivity with these earbuds, because there are other earbuds out there that are still using a Hero and Sidekick setup, but can only be connected to one device at a time, like either the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s or the Bose QC earbuds. But nonetheless, when it comes to watching movies or videos on your phone, these earbuds do have zero latency across the board, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device, which is always great. And when it comes to audio codecs, these earbuds have support for SBC and AAC. But now let's talk about listening to music with these earbuds. Now, these earbuds sound like your typical pair of Jabra earbuds, as in, yeah, they have good instrument separation and a decent soundstage, but what's really special about them is that they have a lot of bass. Now, the bass on these earbuds hits hard and it does resonate a little bit. But overall, these are a pair of warm-sounding earbuds, which I personally like. Now, these earbuds do have a fully customizable EQ, but nonetheless, these are better suited for people who like a more bass-heavy EQ. Now, when compared to the 75Ts, the 75Ts and 85Ts are pushing out the same amount of bass. But the biggest difference about them sound quality-wise is that the 85Ts does sound a little more open than the 75Ts. And then there are the 65Ts, which are very mid-focused and are super flat when compared to these other two earbuds. Overall, the 85Ts are a pair of well-rounded earbuds with prominent bass that do sound a little more open than the 75Ts. Now, when it comes to controlling your music, these earbuds have the same physical buttons as the 75Ts. So if you're someone that just doesn't want to have to deal with touchpads on their earbuds, then these are the way to go. You can play and pause your music, you can skip a track, go back a track, cycle between active noise cancellation and your ambient mode, you can activate your voice assistant, and you can even raise or lower your volume, all from the earbuds themselves. Now personally, I love when earbuds can give you all of this functionality without having to use your phone, because not all earbuds can do this. The physical media controls on AirPods are rather limited, and so are the media controls on the Bose QC earbuds. But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these earbuds. Now, for those who may not know, the Jabra Elite 75Ts actually recently got a software update that gave them active noise cancellation, which is super impressive. Now, in general, the 75Ts block out the same amount of noise as the 85Ts. But the 85Ts go about blocking noise with significantly less cabin pressure than the 75Ts, which does result in overall better comfort. Now, I do want to taper expectations here. The ANC on these earbuds isn't going to block out nearly as much noise as a proper pair of over-ear ANC headphones. And these earbuds are going to predominantly block out constant low-frequency sounds, like either road noise or the constant hum of an AC unit. But with all that being said, when it comes to ranking, the 85Ts block out less noise than the Bose QC earbuds, but they are neck and neck with the Sennheiser Momentum 2s, and they do block out noticeably more noise than both the AirPods Pro and Sony WF-1000XM3s. So overall, the ANC on these earbuds is rather impressive. But from a performance standpoint, like I mentioned earlier, the 85Ts do block out the same amount of noise as the 75Ts, but with less cabin pressure, which is always good. And the microphone array on these earbuds does a really good job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. However, the active noise cancellation on these earbuds does change how they sound. They do get narrowed up a little bit, and their bass doesn't hit as hard. So if you do want to get the best sound quality out of these earbuds, you got to use them with their ANC turned off. But like I mentioned earlier, I only use the ANC on any of my earbuds when I have to, and what's really important to me is a decent ambient mode, which is something these earbuds do have. The ambient mode on the 85Ts sounds more natural than the ambient mode on the 75Ts. And unlike the ambient mode on the 75Ts, the ambient mode on the 85Ts doesn't develop a hissing in the background if you raise it too high like on the 75Ts. And again, their microphone array does a really good job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, overall, the microphone on the Jabra Elite 85Ts is decent, but you do want to take phone calls with these earbuds in a quiet area. Now, the microphone on the 85Ts definitely sounds much better than the microphone found on the 65Ts, which does sound rather robotic. But the microphone on the Jabra Elite 85Ts does sound identical to the microphone found on the Jabra Elite 75Ts. The microphone on both the 85Ts and 75Ts let in the same amount of road noise, and they also let in the same amount of chatter. So, like I mentioned earlier, you do want to take phone calls with these earbuds in a quiet area. So with all that being said, personally, I really like the new Jabra Elite 85Ts. In general, Jabra has been doing a great job of refining their earbuds year over year. What I particularly like about the 85Ts is their new fit, which I feel is a better version of how the AirPods Pro fit. I really like their improved ambient mode, and these truly are a battery champ if you only use their active noise cancellation when you have to, like I do. And in general, the active noise cancellation on these earbuds is very decent as well. Add to the fact that these are a pair of very well-rounded sounding earbuds with strong bass and a decently small carrying case with wireless charging. I don't think they can go wrong with these earbuds whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.